Alessandra slammed the door of her wheelchair-accessible van, her hands trembling on the rims as she wheeled toward the sterile hospital entrance in downtown Chicago. The letter from her father burned in her pocket like acid. After years of silence, he was dying, and he wanted her money, the fortune she'd built from nothing after he shattered her life. But as she entered the lobby, Alessia's voice echoed in her mind, a whisper of caution. "Don't let him break you again." Alessandra's breath caught in her throat as the elevator doors slid open on the 5th floor. The antiseptic smell hitting her like a wave of forgotten nightmares. She hadn't seen her father since that night 7 years ago, when his rage had turned violent, leaving her legs useless and her heart scarred. Now at 24, she was a successful tech entrepreneur, her app for accessibility aids raking in millions. But the success tasted bitter knowing it stemmed from the very trauma he'd inflicted. Wheeling down the hallway, she replayed the scene in her head. The family dinner where she'd confessed her love for women, her voice steady despite the fear churning inside. "Dad, I'm gay," she'd said, hoping for understanding. But his face had twisted into something monstrous. The shove down the stairs had been swift, deliberate, his slurred words about fixing her echoing as her spine cracked against the steps. Paralyzed from the waist down, abandoned by him in the hospital, she clawed her way back through sheer will, building a life that didn't include his shadow. But here she was, summoned by a desperate plea. The nurse at the desk nodded sympathetically. "Room 512, Ms. Rossi. He's been asking for you." Alessandra paused outside the door, her mind racing. Why now? After disowning her, after the courts had sided with him on some technicality, letting him walk free because it was an accident in the heat of the moment. Society's blind eye to homophobia had spared him jail, but not the cancer eating him from inside. Pushing the door open, she saw him, frail, hooked to machines, his once imposing frame withered. "Alessandra," he croaked, eyes lighting up with a mix of relief and calculation. "You came." She positioned her wheelchair at the foot of the bed, forcing her voice to stay even. "What do you want, Father? Your letter was vague, something about needing help." He coughed, wincing. "The treatments. Experimental. Insurance won't cover. I need 200,000. You're rich now, right? From that thing you do." Her app, Helping Hands, connected disabled people with resources. It was her lifeline turned empire. But hearing him dismiss it ignited a fire in her chest. "You mean the business I started because of what you did to me? Yeah, it's doing well. But why should I give you a dime?" His face hardened, the old anger flickering. "I'm your father. Blood is thicker than whatever choices you made." Choices? The word sliced through her like a knife. Inside, her thoughts tumbled. How dare he reduce my identity to a choice? The one he tried to beat out of me. But a part of her, the scared girl from before, wondered if forgiveness could heal the void. Before she could respond, the door creaked open. Alessia stepped in, her presence a bomb tall, with sharp features and a quiet strength that had pulled Alessandra from despair. They'd met in physical therapy 2 years after the incident, Alessia's role as a counselor turning into something deeper. A love that defied the world's judgments. "Aless, you okay?" Alessia asked, her hand resting on Alessandra's shoulder, a subtle claim in the face of the man who'd caused so much pain. Her father sneered. "Who's this? Another one of your friends?" Alessia's eyes narrowed, but she stayed composed. "I'm her partner, Alessia Moretti." The room tensed, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Alessandra felt the pull of old loyalties clashing with her hard-won truth. Giving him the money could end this chapter, but at what cost to her soul? As the visit dragged on, her father spun tales of regret, but they rang hollow. Excuses about his upbringing, societal pressures, never a real apology. Leaving the room, Alessandra's mind whirled. Is blood really an obligation or just a chain? Back in their apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, Alessia paced while Alessandra stared out the window. "You can't seriously consider it," Alessia said, voice laced with frustration. "He ruined you. Paralyzed you for loving me. For loving women." Alessandra turned, tears stinging. "It's not that simple. He's dying. If I don't help, am I no better than him?" Alessia's face softened, but her words were firm. Helping him means validating what he did. Think about the message it sends to us, to others like us. The argument escalated, voices rising in the quiet space. Alessandra's inner turmoil boiled. Part of me wants to watch him suffer to make him pay. But another part fears the guilt of letting him die. What kind of person does that make me? Days blurred into a haze of board meetings and therapy sessions. Alessandra's company thrived, but the decision loomed like a storm. Friends advised forgiveness for her own peace, while online forums, filled with queer voices, urged her to cut ties, sharing stories of familial rejection turned triumphant independence. One night, alone in bed while Alessia worked late, Alessandra scrolled through old photos. Family vacations before her coming out, her father's proud smile at her soccer games. The contrast to now twisted her gut. Why did society let men like him evade consequences? Homophobia masked as family values had protected him, while she bore the scars. A call from her lawyer interrupted her thoughts. Your father's filing for assistance. If you don't pay, he might sue, claiming familial duty. The audacity fueled her rage. In her mind, he's not just asking. He's demanding, as if entitled to my pain's profits. Confronting Alessia later, the tension peaked. If I give it, will you leave? Alessandra whispered, fear gripping her. Alessia knelt ice fierce. No. But I'll fight for us, for you to see your worth more than his redemption. Their kiss was desperate, an anchor in the chaos. But as Alessandra lay awake, doubt crept in. Am I betraying my community by even considering this? The next morning, a protest outside City Hall, queer activists demanding justice for hate crimes, reminded her of the bigger fight. She wheeled through the crowd, chants echoing her resolve. Yet, her father's plea haunted her, a moral quagmire pulling her under. By week's end she decided. A meeting with him, terms attached. But as she prepared, a betrayal loomed, her estranged brother, siding with their father, plotting to guilt her further. Alessandra's brother, Marco, showed up unannounced at her office, his suit crisp but his eyes evasive. Sis, we need to talk, he said, glancing at the awards lining her walls, testaments to her resilience. She motioned him in, her wheelchair gliding smoothly across the polished floor. Inside, her thoughts raced. Marco had stood by silently during the fallout, choosing neutrality over support. Now, with their father dying, he emerges like a ghost from the past. What do you want, Marco? Dad's money grab not enough. Her tone was sharp, years of resentment bubbling up. He sat, fidgeting. He's our dad. The cancer's aggressive. Without that treatment, he's got months. You're loaded, why not help? Alessandra leaned forward, her voice low. Because he pushed me down those stairs for being who I am. Paralyzed me. You were there, you saw. Marco looked away. It was an accident. He was drunk, upset. People change. The lie stung. In her mind, no accident. His words were clear. No daughter of mine will be a dyke. But society forgave him, labeling it a family dispute, not a hate crime. And you? Where were you when I needed family? She pressed. I had my own life, wife, kids. Didn't want to pick sides. Picking sides. As if her existence was a debate. The pain twisted deeper. My own brother sees my love as optional, my suffering as collateral. Alessia arrived then, sensing the tension from the lobby. Everything okay? She asked, standing protectively behind Alessandra. Marco's eyes flicked to her, discomfort evident. This is family business. Alessia's family, Alessandra snapped. More than you ever were. The confrontation escalated, Marco pleading their father's case with tales of remorse, but Alessandra saw through it. Manipulation to access her wealth. Leaving, he dropped a bomb. If you don't help, I'll tell the press. Ruin your image as the forgiving hero. Blackmail. The word echoed in her head as he left. How low would they go? Her success, built on authenticity, now a weapon against her. That night, over dinner, Alessia pushed for legal action. Sue them first. Protect what's yours. But Alessandra hesitated, inner conflict raging. Fighting back means dredging up the past, reliving the trauma in court. Is revenge worth the toll? Sleep evaded her, memories flooding. Coming out at 17, the hope crushed by rejection. Her mother's silence, complicit in the abandonment. Society's whispers, she brought it on herself. fueling her isolation. Yet she'd risen, meeting Alessia in rehab, their bond forming amid shared stories of prejudice. Alessia's family had disowned her too, for similar reasons, making their love a rebellion against norms. A board meeting the next day brought more pressure. Investors questioned her focus, rumors of family drama leaking. Handle it quietly, one advised. Don't let personal issues tank the stock. Personal issues. As if her paralysis was a footnote. Inside, my life's defined by this fight. Against bodies that fail, families that betray. A world that judges. Deciding to confront her father again, she arrived at the hospital with Alessia. He looked worse, tubes snaking across his chest. Decided yet? He rasped. I'll pay, she said, voice steady. But on conditions. Public apology. Admit what you did was wrong. His laugh was weak but mocking. Apologize? For trying to save you from that lifestyle. The word lifestyle ignited fury. Alessia squeezed her hand, grounding her. It's not a choice, it's who we are, Alessandra retorted. The argument drew nurses, but her father doubled down, spewing outdated views shaped by his conservative upbringing. Society agrees. Marriage is man and woman. Society. The same one that legalized gay marriage but still harbored bigots. Her mind screamed. Progress on paper but hatred in hearts. Leaving defeated, Alessandra confided in Alessia. Maybe I should just pay and cut ties forever. Alessia stopped her. No. That's letting him win. We fight for us, for every queer kid facing this. Their resolve strengthened, but a call from Marco shattered it. Dad's worse. Time's up. Wire the money or live with his death on your conscience. Guilt clawed at her. Am I a monster for hesitating? The moral dilemma consumed her days. Therapy sessions dissecting the ethics of forgiveness versus justice. At a support group for queer survivors, stories mirrored hers. Parents rejecting, then returning needy. One woman shared. I paid, but it hollowed me out. Another. I refused and found peace. Inspired, Alessandra drafted a statement, but doubt lingered. What if helping him sparks change in others? Tensions with Alessia mounted. If you pay without accountability, you're endorsing his hate, she argued. Alessandra's retort. And if he dies, I'm the villain in family's eyes. The rift grew, their love tested by this crucible. In bed, Alessandra's thoughts swirled. Our relationship survived so much. Can it weather my indecision? A turning point came at a gala for LGBTQ rights. Honored for her work, she spoke. Trauma doesn't define us, but choices do. Applause thundered, but inside. Hypocrite, my choice looms undecided. Post-event, Alessia pulled her aside. I'm with you, whatever. But choose for you, not them. Kissing her, Alessandra felt clarity flicker. But Marco's next move, a leaked email to tabloids, thrust them into scandal. Headlines screamed. Tech mogul denies dying dad aid over old grudge. Comments poured in, divided. Supporters praising her stance, haters calling her heartless. The backlash hit hard. Stock dipped, partners wavered. Society's judgment amplified. Forgive family, or be labeled ungrateful. In her office alone, Alessandra wept. Why must I pay the price again? The cycle of damage endless. The media storm raged, paparazzi camping outside their building, shouting questions about her cold heart. Alessandra wheeled through the gauntlet, Alessia's arm linked with hers. A united front against the chaos. Inside the apartment, she collapsed into Alessia's embrace. This is what he wanted, to drag me down. Alessia stroked her hair. We rise above. Always have. But the pressure mounted, inner voices clashing. Stand firm, or cave to silence the noise. The ethical tightrope frayed. Her lawyer called. We can countersue for defamation. Marco's emails proved manipulation. Tempting, but Alessandra hesitated. Suing family? The ultimate betrayal, or justified self-defense? Nights blurred with strategy sessions, Alessia researching similar cases. Queer individuals facing familial extortion, courts often siding with blood ties over justice. One story hit close. A woman paid her abusive parent, only to be disowned again post-recovery. Don't repeat history, Alessia urged. Alessandra's mind wrestled. Payment as mercy or enabling toxicity? The moral gray consumed her. A surprise visit from her mother, absent for years, added fuel. Frail and tearful, she begged. For the family, Alessandra. He's sorry deep down. Sorry. Alessandra exploded. He paralyzed me. You let him. Her mother averted eyes. Times were different. We didn't understand. Understanding. As if ignorance excused violence. Inside. Society evolves but scars remain. Why absolve them? The plea tugged at buried loyalties, but Alessia intervened. Mrs. Rossi, respect her boundaries. Or leave. Defeated, her mother left, whispering, think of your soul. Soul. The word haunted Alessandra. Is withholding help damning me? Therapy delved deeper, unpacking layers of trauma. Internalized homophobia, fear of abandonment. Your decision defines your healing, the counselor said. Inspired, Alessandra reached out to queer elders. Their wisdom varied. Some advocated radical forgiveness, others fierce boundaries. Amid this, business suffered. Investors pulled out, citing distractions. Her empire, symbol of triumph, teetered. In a boardroom showdown, she defended, this isn't distraction, it's my life. Fighting prejudice built this company. Applause from allies, but skeptics murmured. Inside, my success tied to pain, now pain threatens it. Alessia, ever the rock, suggested a retreat. Let's escape the noise. Decide together. They drove to a cabin in Wisconsin, the lake's calm contrasting their turmoil. There, intimacy reignited, not physical excess but emotional depth, sharing fears. I worry paying him weakens us, Alessia confessed. And I fear refusing hardens me, Alessandra replied. Their talks peeled layers. Alessia's own rejection, disowned at 20 for coming out, rebuilding alone until meeting Alessandra. Your strength saved me, Alessandra said, tears flowing. But this tests everything. Back in Chicago, a hospital update. Her father's condition critical. Marco's ultimatum. Pay now or funeral plans start. The deadline forced her hand. In her mind, choose justice, risk guilt. Choose mercy, risk self-betrayal. Opting for confrontation, she visited alone. I'll pay half, she offered. If you record a video admitting fault, supporting queer rights. He scoffed. Never. That's weakness. Weakness. The irony burned. His pride over life. Leaving, she felt empowered, offer made, ball in his court. But Marco ambushed her in the parking lot. You're killing him, he shouted, grabbing her chair. Alessia, waiting in the car, rushed out, shoving him back. Back off. The scuffle drew security, but damage done. More headlines. Family feud turns physical. Society's gaze intensified, petitions forming. Pro-Alessandra for standing against abuse. Anti for familial neglect. The divide mirrored her soul. Right versus wrong blurred. At home, Alessia bandaged a scrape. We're in this together. No matter. But strain showed. Arguments over strategy, silence is heavy. One night, Alessandra broke. What if I lose you over this? Alessia held her. You won't. Our love's stronger than their hate. Reassured, Alessandra drafted a public response. My story's not unique. Queer people face rejection daily. I choose boundaries over toxicity. Posted online, it went viral, support surging. Stocks rebounded, community rallied. Yet, her father's decline accelerated. A midnight call. He's asking for you. Final hours. Rushing to the hospital, moral weight crushed her. Time for truth. The hospital room hummed with machines, her father's breaths ragged. Marco hovered, glaring as Alessandra entered with Alessia. You came, her father whispered, eyes dim. She nodded, positioning close. To say what needs saying. Inside, turmoil peaked. Forgiveness or final stand? The decision's cost loomed. I won't pay, she began, voice firm. Not without accountability. Marco iraptid, heartfelt beach. Alessia stepped forward. Watch it. She's more family than you. The room crackled, years of unspoken rage surfacing. Her father raised a hand. Let her speak. Alessandra poured out. You broke me for loving who I love. Society let you, calling it discipline. But it's hate. I built from ruins, found love with Alessia. You want my money? Earn it with truth. He listened, face ashen. For the first time, regret flickered. I was wrong. Scared. Church friends said it was sin. Sin. The word echoed societal chains. Religion weaponized against queer lives. But you chose violence, she pressed. Paralyzed your daughter. Tears tracked his cheeks. I know. If I could undo. Marco interrupted. Don't apologize. She's the one. Shut up, her father snapped. She's right. The admission stunned. Inside Alessandra. Vindication but hollow. Too late? I'll record it, he said. For you. Alessia filmed as he spoke haltingly. I harmed my daughter for being gay. It was wrong. Support love all forms. The video done, Alessandra wired the money. Mercy won but at a price, emotional drain. Leaving, Marco spat. Traitor to family. Family. Redefined for her, chosen not blood. Recovery began slowly. The video went public, sparking debates. Forgiveness's role in healing versus enabling. Business boomed. Her story inspiring legislation against hate crimes in families. But personal toll lingered. Alessia noticed her withdrawal. Talk to me. I feel empty. Gave in. Alessia cupped her face. You didn't, you demanded change. That's power. Their bond deepened, navigating aftermath. Therapy helped process. Decisions gray, no pure right. Months passed, her father in treatment, relationship tentative. Emails of progress slow thawing. At a pride event, Alessandra spoke. We pay prices for truth, but it's worth it. Crowd cheered, Alessia beaming beside her. Yet doubts persisted. Did I compromise too much? A betrayal surfaced. Marco, resentful, leaked private emails twisting her words.
Skandal renewed. Hypocrite forgives abuser for PR.
Trust shattered. Alessandra confronted him. Why? Jealous. You succeeded despite everything. Jealousy. The root unveiled. Sibling rivalry fueled by patriarchal norms. Cutting him off, she focused on healing. Alessia proposed. Marry me. Build our family. The question mended fractures. Yes, Alessandra whispered, joy-piercing pain. Wedding plans amid chaos. Small ceremony, queer friends as witnesses. Society watched, opinions split. Romantic triumph or rushed escape. On the eve, her father called. Proud of you. Treatment working. Closure? Or ongoing bargain? The day arrived, vows exchanged under Chicago sun. Through betrayals and choices, I choose you, Alessandra said. Alessia echoed. Your strength is my home. Honeymoon in California, reflections deepened. Decisions costs, lost family, gained self. Back home, a letter. Her mother, seeking reconciliation. Torn again. Open door, risk hurt? Alessia advised caution. Your terms. Meeting arranged, tentative steps toward mending. But society pressed. Articles questioning her forgiveness as weakness. Inner voice. Strength and vulnerability? As life stabilized, a new challenge, adoption considerations, navigating biases against queer parents. The adoption agency interview loomed. Alessandra and Alessia's application scrutinized under societal lenses still tinged with prejudice. We'll face questions, Alessia said, squeezing her hand. But we're ready. Alessandra nodded, but inside. After all battles, another fight for normalcy? The caseworker, polite but probing. Your family's history, concerns about stability. Stability. Code for queer skepticism. Alessandra's response. We've built it from ashes. Stronger for it. Approval came but conditional, monitoring as if their love needed proof. Their daughter Mia arrived. A toddler with bright eyes. Melting walls Alessandra didn't know remained. Parenthood amplified joys and fears. Protecting Mia from the world's judgments, the same that scarred them. One evening, rocking Mia, Alessandra thought. This is the legacy, love defying hate. Her father, in remission, visited sporadically, awkward but trying. Grandpa.
Mia kud, innocent.
He smiled, changed man? Or facade? Alessandra watched warily. Marco remained distant. His betrayal a permanent rift. Years ticked by, Mia growing amid their nurturing. School plays, family dinners, normalcy hard won. But echoes persisted. A teen Mia questioning her origins, learning the story. Why did Grandpa hurt you? she asked one night. Alessandra paused, choosing words. Fear. But love won. Inside. Simplifying complexity, shielding her. Alessia added. We chose forgiveness with boundaries. The conversation sparked Mia's activism, joining queer youth groups, cycle breaking. Yet, Alessandra's health declined. Complications from paralysis, surgeries looming. Alessia by her side. We'll fight this too. The ordeal tested them anew, roles reversing, Alessia the caregiver. In hospital waits, reflections. Life's prices, body broken, spirit resilient. Recovery slow but family intact. At a reunion, her father confessed fully. I was wrong. Society shaped me, but I chose hate. Tears shared, true healing begun. But society evolved unevenly. Laws advancing, backlashes rising. Alessandra's company expanded, advocating inclusivity. In quiet moments with Alessia. Was it worth it? Every scar, she replied. Mia, now teen, challenged. Forgiving him, right or wrong? The question hung, mirroring Alessandra's lifelong wrestle. As sun set over their home, peace settled, choices made, costs paid. In the end, after all the betrayals and redemptions, was Alessandra's decision to fund her father's treatment, demanding accountability in return, ultimately the right choice, or did it compromise her principles too deeply?